Hey everyone, Stephanie back with you this week, and today I wanted to share a look at my 2016, memory keeping handbook. So for 2016, I just have a couple projects going on, and one of them is to create a page or add something to this book once a month. So to tell one story a month. In this album, this is a 6x8 size, and I primarily am using Allie Edwards' story kit. So every month I use her kit to inspire some kind of story or something that I want to get down on paper. This is just a project that I created to hold myself accountable, to make sure that I print my photos and tell my stories, and also to give me an outlet to get my hands messy and play with paper. So today I'll be sharing a look at the first few pages in my album, as well as kind of a walkthrough of how one of my pages come together. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. As I mentioned, I have a few memory keeping projects going on this year, and one of the things that I am challenging myself to do is to use Allie's story kits primarily to add in some story or memory from our month. My goal is to do at least one per month, but I found that I end up doing several. So whenever I have just some photos that are my favorite, or a memory or story that I want to record, I just pull this book out or this album out, and then just get crafty and just play around and have a little fun. So this is a smaller spine, as you can see, 6x8 album. It's I think it was the Week in the Life album from Allie last year, and I never got around to using it. So right now that's where I'm storing these pages, or these different photos and stories. I'm keeping them in here for now. My goal is, once this is full, transfer them over to one of the larger handbooks, Studio Calico handbook. So this, as you can see, this is a much larger spine, and it'll hold a little bit more. So I have two of these. This is the gray area. So I just have these because I'm a semi-hoarder, and I couldn't pass them up, and I couldn't get just one in case I ended up needing two for the whole year. So that's my goal for now, is to keep them in here and then maybe transfer them over. But each month I get, around the 20th or somewhere around there, I get Allie's story kit. This is the craft story kit, and I just put it to use in some kind of page story memory in my book. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through what I've done so far. And as you will see, most of mine are very photo heavy, although I've tried to add in more words. But as far as embellishments and whatnot are concerned, it's pretty simple. So if you're just starting out in memory keeping, or want to start in memory keeping but aren't sure where to begin, I find that this process is very simple and very easy and very manageable, doable. It's something that I can get done in, I don't do it to try to be as fast as possible, but you can, just get one story down on paper pretty quickly. So the first thing I did here is I did a photo collage, and then over here on this side is just a 6x8 piece of cardstock that I actually typed my journaling on in Photoshop, and then I formatted it so it would be just in the middle of my box there, or middle of my page. I put my text box in the middle because I wanted it just to have a good bit of white space around the words. This is one of the acrylic pieces from the Cheer story kit, and I adhered it right to the top, the outside. So it's on the outside of my page protector using hot glue. That's what I do in all my mini albums. I usually use hot glue, and I've never had a problem with any of them falling off. So these are just a couple of stories. That was one for December. This is one for January. So again, this photo is on a 6x8 canvas, but when I printed out the square photo, I made sure to leave some white space around it, and kind of mimic the same thing over here on this side for my story. And then all the embellishments that you see, like this little banner, and then the acrylic piece, are hot glued on the outside. I think they stay on perfectly fine. So kind of, you'll see the same thing here. These are actually, I tried to do it as a photo collage and it didn't end up working. So I actually trimmed my photos out and just adhered them to a piece of cardstock right there. And then I put my acrylic piece over the top. I'm not going to use the acrylic piece every single time throughout the album. I like it for consistency, but I do love that how it does spark a story. So it does, I can sometimes use the actual word for writing about, like this one is about the new year. I did it on January 1st, and this one was cheer, and I wrote about one of our vacations that we did at the end of the year. So I do kind of use them sometimes to start a story, and if I do, I try to incorporate it on the page somehow. Same thing here. This is one of the gold foil hearts that came with the heart story kit, and I typed my journaling and just kind of eyeballed it and left a little space so I could stitch on a little heart at the top. Very, very simple. This is just another photo collage on this side, the back side, at the end of January, and I added some of the chipboard pieces and stickers just to the outside of the page protector. I typically always add these kind of elements to the stickers and whatnot to the outside. And then this is a full spread or full page photo that there's actually a few videos back, that I share how easy it is to create this type of full double page photo in your albums. So since I had a blank page on this side, I just added another small photo collage over here, and just stamped at the bottom and added a little chipboard piece right there. And I don't know if you can see from the photo, I stitched around my photo collage just to add a little bit of texture. You can kind of see some of the string hanging off right around there. So the next one is the full double page spread, and that's kind of the last one that I've gotten in here so far. And for this next page, I just thought I'd show you kind of my very, very simple, easy process. So this is kind of so easy that it's a little silly to actually do a video, but I enjoy videos and seeing other people's process, and I always learn something. So I thought that I would share my process with you. So I went ahead and printed out, this is the story that I wanted to record for the end of February. So this is just a photo collage of one Sunday at the playground. And I just was gonna write a little bit of story about that. So my thought, since I wanted to use a photo collage, which are my favorite and I tend to use and create a lot, I couldn't pick one photo, so the photo collage it was. I created this collage using PicMonkey, which is a super easy online, it's a website, it's free and you can create tons of collages, and I wanted it to be square. So I I just uploaded my photos, added them to the little boxes, moved them around just to kind of space them, out a little bit and make sure there's some good balance, and then printed it 6x8. So that's going to be, my thought is that's going to be the right side of my spread over here. So that's going to be my photo collage, and I will probably repeat similar elements that I just showed you from some of the previous pages, like adding chipboard pieces or stickers directly to the outside. I'll just use this month's story kit. So since I have this blank side over here, that's where I plan on adding my story over here on this side. And then I was just going to add some of the elements from the story kit. So before I actually print out or write out what I want to add as far as my journaling is concerned on this side, I just wanted to see what the different pieces are. So this is the acrylic piece for this month, and it's craft. And I don't think I'm going to use it for this spread because I don't really know that I have a story that goes along with that one. So just to keep it cohesive, I thought I would just try to utilize some of the pieces that go along with the stories that's weird and that's happening in this photo. So these are some little wood veneer pieces, and there's one that says memory, right click, make, story, and then one that says remember. So the remember one seems kind of most in line with my photos and the story that I want to tell with these. And these are just some little rubber pieces, a couple of cameras and a paintbrush and some scissors. So I think I might be able to maybe use the camera, but we can just see. So another thing I really like over here are these numbers. So I was thinking maybe I could use those if I wanted to tell a story about our day. But I'm just not sure. I'm gonna see how they look. I'm gonna pop this one out. I want to see how they look with my colors of my page. So we're just going to kind of walk through. So my thought is if I type up, or I will likely type, I was going to say handwrite, but I'm typically a typer. My thoughts tend to come a little easier when I'm typing. So I was thinking I could do like maybe, sorry, the top 5 maybe of our playground adventures. That might work. Or some of the other pieces that I could use here. These pieces are super versatile, so although they might be about crafting or making something, I don't think that they necessarily have to go on a page that's only about crafting or making. So I'm just going to play around with the different little elements and see if how the spacing is on my page. So my next thought is maybe I could do maybe I could add the numbers over here to this side. So this is my typical process. It's very, as you can see, there's nothing rocket science about it, and there's nothing very detailed. It's just more of a moving things around and see what works where and what I think visually is balanced and makes sense. So I do like the numbers, and I like that I could use them to tell a little bit of a story. So I think what I'm going to go do is type up my the 5 things, but I'm not going to use the chipboard numbered stickers on this side. I think I'm going to use them on the photos and try to relate the 2 pages that way. So I'm going to go type up my journaling really fast. Okay, so I went to my computer and I actually just printed out my journaling on a piece of cardstock, and then I trimmed it down to the size of my page, although I think it might be a little bit, I might have trimmed it too small, so I'll have to try to make that work. So my thought is that I can add it here on the side and then punch my holes. And then I'm gonna use the Remember, I think. I might, or maybe I might use Story. I like the smaller aspect. And then I wrote our top 5 from the playground and our park adventures. So I'm just gonna add my numbers and make sure they match up over here on this side. So I've added my holes there, and I'm just going to add it right into my album. Oh, before I do that, I think I'm going, before I adhere it back to back, I'm gonna sew this part on. So I went over to my sewing machine and I sewed on that story, and I just went right through the, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I went right through the wood veneer there. And let's keep that right there. And I'm gonna add this into my book, and I'm just gonna match up my chipboard pieces. So that's just one thing I love about these story kits. I don't know that I would have picked like a top 5 for my journaling, but seeing these numbers kind of sparked that for me, and then it helped me get down just some details about our day and tell our story in that fashion, which is super awesome, I think. So just to kind of finish it up, I think I'm going to maybe add a little bit of washi just at the bottom part. I don't even think it's going to overlap it at all, but just going to try to cover up. I'm going to overlap it just a tiny bit, just to try to cover up that little bit of a mistake, which I'm totally fine with. And then I'll adhere down the rest of it, because the washi's barely on it, so I can just pick it right up and adhere down. So that is a look at that one. The only thing that I'm gonna do is date it, because I like to have the date, and if I don't do it right away, I usually forget to do it altogether. So this was the, let's see, the 21st, and this is a Heidi Swap date stamp, and it has like the cursive dates, and I like that. I feel like it adds just a little bit more character to the date, and I'm just gonna add it right here at the bottom, and there we go. Our story and the date and the stickers, which match up perfectly. So that's just kind of a look at how I'm using this album and my story kits that I get each month, which I love, and how I'm getting our stories down on paper. So as you can see, I've added a good number so far just for February. I think I did, let's see, nope, I lied. I only did 2 for February. I did 3 for January. So there's still more stories to tell, and there's always more months. And it's fun having a process that you can just pick up and do at your leisure, and I'm not trying to set myself to do something weekly or feel like I'm behind. So this is a very easy way to do simple memory keeping, and I encourage you just to print out some photos and get your stories down. Thanks so much, guys.